Thank you everyone for joining today on this wonderful session on TestNG Data Provider. And without wasting much time, let's dive deep into it. So I'm in Eclipse IDE here, and let's build up our project. So let's go for Maven project. Click on Maven project here, and next. And if you select this one, create a single project, skip archetype selection. It will be a quick. So here we say group ID, so we can say com dot data provider test ng. In artifact ID, I would say data provider demo finish. So you will see magically this will appear here, and this structure is given to us by Maven project that we selected. We are going to look at pom.xml here. This is the starting point. We'll go ahead and say dependencies tag, within which we are going to get Selenium, TestNG, and WebDriver Manager from Boni Garcia. So let's get that. So first we'll go to Maven repository. This is mbnrepository.com. From here we'll get the dependency for our work. So select Selenium and search. All of this auto suggestive values coming because I have in the past looked for these values, but for you will have to type fresh over here whichever dependency you're looking for and search. So the first search says Selenium Java, so let's get that. 4.1.2 13 usages are there, so that means it is okay to go with this. So first we are getting this Selenium, take it off from here. Then we'll go for TestNG. Come back to my mbnrepository.com, and this is TestNG. Search for it. Testing framework for Java. We need this, and we say 7.5. So we got TestNG as well. Then last we are interested in WebDriver Manager from Boni Garcia. So let's get that as well. Let's get it over here. We don't need this now. Now just Control A, Control Shift F. It will format everything properly. So we have all our dependency, Selenium, TestNG, and WebDriver Manager. Now with this, let's go to our SRC test Java. Create a package over here, which is dp demo finish. Now for now you can close X out, save it and X out of this. Within dp demo, we'll create a class called data provider demo in TestNG. So we'll just say demo here, and we will be using TestNG, so no need to get the public static void main. So this is how it looks like. TestNG test annotation. We are building a basic login test here. So it is complaining, the test is complaining. At the test is complaining that there is some error. So import TestNG from TestNG annotations. The error is gone as you see here, which is interesting. Okay, now we are going to do, sorry about this. Web driver manager dot Chrome driver, and now we can use a method called setup. So this will manage all our binaries requirement that we need for the browser driver. And here we'll say web driver, sorry, web driver equals to new Chrome driver. Let's get the resolve the issues. Import this from org open QA Selenium, and same goes for Chrome driver. Import Chrome driver. See, this is gone. Now we'll hit the URL driver dot get method is there. We are going to use this open source demo orangehrlive.com login page. This is the correct username and password to log in successfully into this. For now, we're interested in this link here. We'll just go ahead and paste that. And then we'll say driver dot find element. Let's see. Just right click on it, inspect, and you will get something like this ID. You see that? So copy this, and what we want to do now, just put whatever is username you want to put in this. Similarly, we'll do driver dot find element by doc. Now we'll inspect this. This also, let's go for name this time. It is asking for string. This is also a text box, so we'll send password here. And then once we do the provide the username and the password, we are going to click on login, right? So inspect this as well. Name is submit. So we'll say by dot name, again the string. Now this is not text box, this is a submit button. So what we do on button, what action? So we are just going to go with click. This will take care of that. So let's run this real quick to see if the script we have written is working fine or not. So it is opening a browser, going to the URL, trying to load it, and it is loaded. Perfect. Okay, so that is our test case. Now think of a scenario where you want to think of a scenario where you have multiple username and password that you want to test against the username and password field within the application and hit submit. So you don't want to write this again and again. Say for example, if there are 10 username and password that you want to validate against the valid credentials, then this is not a feasible way. We have a very nice sleek way of doing it, and that is through data provider annotation in TestNG. So now we'll go for that. So let's say we say at the rate data provider provider public void uh, get data. So here we'll just say we'll import data provider which is coming from org.testng.annotations. We need to do this, and this will resolve this issue. And here we're going to say name equals to dp, and here we're going to build our data set for a test. So we'll say object two-dimensional array data equals to new object. Now this doesn't mean that you are going to go for indexes here, because when I was learning it for the first time, I made a mistake by starting the index from 0. This is not the case here. Here you will actually write the actual number of rows and columns you want to go with. So like we want to go for 2 rows and 2 columns, just mention that 2 rows and 2 columns. So if you just say starting indexing from 0, then it might give you array index out of bound exception. So stick with the real rows and columns number over here. Don't confuse it with the indexes. That's my learning. And so I will say data 0th row, 0th column, put Sachin. That is for the first row. Data 0th row, first column for password. You can write anything. I'm writing my name, but you can go for anything that you wish for over here. Now, since we are saying 2 rows and 2 columns, so we need to set up the data for that as well. So here it will be 1, and here it will be 0. Here you can say David, first row and first index over here, and then you say you can give any name over here, and towards the end we can just say return data. So with the help of this, now it is complaining, as you see. So let's see what there is, saying change method return type to object, two-dimensional object array over here. So you see we have void over here, that's why it's complaining. So now let's fix that. So change method to object. Now this is fine. Let's go ahead and configure this in our test here. So I'll say data provider equals to DP, and here since we are getting username and password, so just say username and string um sorry about this, we say password, and over here now I don't need this hard coded values, I can just say username which is coming from here, and similarly for password we can just say password which is coming from here. So this is our test, no errors. Let's run this and see what happens. So it is opening the browser, going to the URL, and then it will enter the invalid credentials, and it is running the second set. David Parker, this is also incorrect in terms of the credentials that we have provided. We have not provided the actual credential, which is admin and admin123. So this is how you use data provider annotation from TestNG to parameterize your test data. So here, though we have written it here and we can run it multiple times, but again, this is also not a best approach, because if there are 10, as I mentioned, 10, or it can be 20 usernames and password that you want to validate against, then in that case, you are not going to write data 001 this, data 001 this, and this, and repeat it. Again, it is not a very healthy way of writing code. So for that, I have an upcoming session on how to read Excel file and get the data in terms of username and password to your data provider, and then with the help of for loop, we can get all the data loaded into this DP here, and then we can pass the username and password. Rest everything stays the same, and that I'll show you in the upcoming lecture. But for now, this has served the purpose. This is the test code that we have written, and it is working fine. So that's it for this session. Thank you so much for watching this. See you in the next session. Thank you.